Hello, this is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I've been asked by many people that follow my channel to do a analysis on the S&P 500, a detailed analysis, and talk about the different resistance points and support levels. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into detail on the S&P 500 fib sequences, especially after the major sell-off. So things have changed a little bit, and I want to update the audience on my perspective on this. But before I do, please help support my work by making sure that you subscribe to all of my channels. I have 7 channels. I have 4 channels on YouTube. I have Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. I live stream on Rumble and YouTube. So it's very important that you get the notifications so you can follow my work. You can also follow me on X. I have 2 channels on X. You can also follow me on GETTR. Please help support my work by making sure that you share the links, ask your social media to follow me, and if you can, please donate on my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com. You can donate at the bottom of the homepage. You can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee. Just click the links and then you can donate. You can also be a paid member to my Patreon channel. The link is in the description of this video and all my videos. It's through the people that donate and are paid members to my Patreon channel that allow me to do these videos for free. I have thousands of videos for free to inform you about certain news and my perspective and analysis. You can also purchase different products on my store. I have ebooks. Oh, for some reason, your server isn't working. Why is that? There we go. All right. I have ebooks talking about different subjects, about finance, about artificial intelligence, about genomics, about endocrinology. I also have structural nanosilver products. You can get the structural nanosilver toothpaste, the Max 35 or Max 14, which is great to boost up your immune system. The structural nanosilver gel, multi-purpose, great for skincare and other uses. The structural nanosilver soaps, I have 4 different types: the charcoal tea tree, lemongrass, peppermint, and lavender. You can get the structural nanosilver drops and lozenges. You can get the drops in 100 count in blueberry, honey and lemon, and cherry, or the lozenges, which are bigger than the drops, in a 21 count in manuka honey and elderberry zinc. I have Veggie Cap probiotics. I also have a 30 ppm liquid called Cleanse, which is in between the Max 35 and the Max 14, because Max 35 is 35 parts per million, Max 14 is 14 parts per million. This is 30 parts per million. So you can get the liquids within different price points. The structural nanosilver gel in a quick dispenser, you use it the same way as the tube form. And the multivitamin, very easy to digest multivitamin. It is important that you get it multivitamin that will help build that foundation that you need as a health protocol. This multivitamin, it has vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin E, B1, B2, B3, B6, folate, B12, biotin, and a bunch of other stuff. So, please go to my store and get the multivitamin. Very important to build your foundation, your health protocol foundation. C60, very strong antioxidant, very potent. You can get it in a 2-ounce, a 4-ounce, or an 8-ounce configuration. It is cheaper to purchase the higher ounce configuration because the cost per ounce is less. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or MCT coconut oil. Take a teaspoon a day every day. It'll boost up your mitochondrial health. It will increase your ATP. It will reduce the free radicals in the cell, reduce stress in the cell. Your tissues will perform better. Your cells will perform better. Your organ systems will perform better. This will slow down the aging process, also improve your immune system and your endocrine system. I have a plethora of other supplements that are in stock. I'm going to talk about the ones that I have in stock right now. D3, very important to absorb calcium. It helps also with cardiovascular health and with bone density. Take it with magnesium for highest efficacy. It also is a cofactor for gene expression. Vitamin C with the magnesium, important for your skin, your immune system, and your brain health. Ashwagandha root is important to help with your cardiovascular health, but also your immune system. It will help control your cortisol levels and your blood glucose levels. So when you control that, you're reducing inflammation. And that chronic surge of people that are overstressed and have chronic inflammation will have high cortisol levels. You want to control that because high cortisol levels ends up being immunosuppressive. So you want to bring that down with the ashwagandha root. The probiotic here, the premium probiotic, is a powdered form. This is the one that I prefer to take because I take a lot of different powders. So you can take this version or the VeggieCap version that I showed on the previous screen. Resveratrol, really important as an antioxidant. It helps mitochondrial health, boost up that ATP. It will reduce some of that stress in the cell. It stacks really well with C60, NAD+, and ubiquinol. Resveratrol also helps with useful gene expression, and it helps to get rid of cells that are in senescence. Turmeric is very important to take. It soaks up free radicals because it's an antioxidant, but it will also help to lower inflammation. That's important for your immune system and your cardiovascular system. Magnesium and zinc, really important to take for your immune system, but taking magnesium either through vitamin C or the magnesium and zinc supplement that I have is couples really well with the D3 because D3's efficacy is much higher if you take magnesium in your health protocol. Collagen, really important. It's a multi-purpose powder. This will help with your joints, your cartilage, your bones, your musculature, your skin, your hair, and your nails. It's a powder. You take it every day. You can also use this as a protocol for a skincare that I'll talk about later. Clarity factor, really important to get rid of the brain fog. This will also help support memory. And when you have more neurons firing, what will happen is over time, you're going to improve your neuroplasticity. Olive leaf extract, also a dual purpose product. It helps with cardiovascular health and your immune system. It brings down inflammation and helps to control your total cholesterol levels. Myotrol, really important as a way to gene express muscle building. So when you get older, you start to atrophy and it's harder to gain muscle. And that's partially because you're less active, you have less energy, but not just that. When you get older, certain genes methylate and your body is slowly shutting down its youthful expression. That's the reason why it's so important to take the resveratrol to get back to that youthful expression. But myotrol has flavonoids, lignans, and polyphenols that will help with as cofactors for gene expression so you can build muscle. This is very important to take if you are 40 years of age or older. But if you are an athlete, young or older, you will get benefits by taking myotrol, especially if you couple it with the Gladiator barley, because this is a protein. Boomer Boost has 68 nutrients that will help with your cardiovascular health. It'll help with your brain function. It will boost up your energy levels and speed up your metabolism. It'll help to slow down the aging process. Now, it has a very expansive profile in that compound. So you get lots of different vitamins, and you got lots of different other supplements that when you couple these together, you get huge benefits. You will notice the difference with your body within 72 hours. So immediate benefits, you're going to get the nutrients you need. Provides for advanced energy production, fights free radicals, boosts metabolism, and elevates vitality. You'll notice this within 72 hours. Long-term benefits, the heart and cardiovascular health will improve. You'll gain strength and musculature. Promotes healthy cellular regeneration. Optimizes brain function, and encourages the anti-aging process. This is a very important supplement to take every day. Gladiator barley is a protein that will help to detoxify your body, soak up free radicals with superoxide dismutase and reduce inflammation, and help with building up strength. Very important when you get older, but you can also use this if you're an athlete to gain strength for your sport. And if you're not so focused on the strength gains with the barley, the gladiator barley, you can take the heirloom barley. It has very similar effects. It's a high density protein. You take a scooper a day or a half a scooper a day, depending on your weight. But it'll help to detoxify your body, bring down inflammation, and soak up free radicals with superoxide dismutase. The big difference between the heirloom barley and the gladiator barley is the gladiator barley focuses more on strength. The heirloom barley does not. But you get all the benefits of heirloom barley in the actual gladiator barley. With gladiator barley and boomer boost, if you stack these two together, you get the max benefits of controlling your A1C levels. For the ones that don't know what that is, that helps to control your blood glucose levels. All right. I also have ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is the most active, bioactive form of CoQ10 that you can get. All right. You can't get most people that get CoQ10 are getting the less bioavailable form. This is the most bioavailable form. You can't get anything better. So this ubiquinol is very important to take. It's an antioxidant. It's going to soak up free radicals. It's going to help with mitochondrial health. That means your ATP is going to go up. So you're going to have less stress in the cell. You're going to have less stress in your tissues. You're going to have more energy. And ubiquinol also helps to protect neurons. NAD plus is a supplement that will help to boost up your NAD plus levels. NAD plus will boost up that energy that you need, but also help to repair your DNA, your mitochondrial DNA and your cellular DNA. As you get older, you start to get more damage in your DNA and it's harder to repair. NAD plus supplement will help you repair that damage. Vitamin K2 couples with the D3 that I was showing you, that will help with cardiovascular health and also bone health, help to build bone density. If you're trying to build bone density, take the K2, the D3, take calcium, either through a supplement or drinking milk, do resistance training, and make sure that you're multivitamin or you take supplements that have magnesium in it. Nattokinase also helps with cardiovascular health. It's fibrinolytic, so it's going to break up clots. And nattokinase helps to bring down LDL levels and increase your HDL levels to improve your lipid profile. By lowering LDL, you're reducing the chances of oxidized LDL, and oxidized LDL is the beginning step for building plaque. You don't want that. So what you do is you take nattokinase to help with your cardiovascular health. I also have all natural deodorants that are made from essential oils from the Himalayas. You can get it in citrus or in peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. These deodorants are dual purpose. You use it as a deodorant every day, but it'll also help to detoxify your body. It has no aluminum and no baking soda. Very high quality, all natural ingredients from the Himalayas. And let's talk about the anti-aging boxes really quickly here. All right. I got different types. I have anti-aging boxes and I have longevity boxes. And if you want to start on your journey here, get some of these boxes. Now, the anti-aging beginners box you'll get the structural nano silver 30 ppm. You'll get the C60 and the D3. So you're helping with your immune system, you're soaking up free radicals, and D3 is very important for gene expression. Now, the anti-aging advanced box also gets the vitamin C. You get everything as the beginner's box, but you also get vitamin C and magnesium, the toothpaste, your choice of deodorant, and the probiotic. Now for C60, you get the choice of avocado, MCT coconut oil, or extra virgin olive oil. Now in the deluxe box, get everything in the advanced box, but you also get resveratrol. And in the super deluxe box, you get everything in the deluxe box, but you also get the omega-3, the ashwagandha, the vitamin B complex, and the turmeric. Now, the structural nanosilver box, get the Max 35, the toothpaste, the structural nanosilver gel, the probiotic, your choice of soaps, and your choice of lozenges. The healthcare box, the anti-aging skin health beginners box, you get the silver gel, the vitamin C and magnesium, and the collagen. The silver gel will help with the topical layer. The vitamin C and magnesium will help cross-link with the collagen to help with the dermal layer. The advanced box has everything that the beginner's box has, but you also get resveratrol and C60 to help with the basal layer. The anti-Fauci box, you get the Max 35 to boost up your immune system, D3 to help with getting cells to go into apoptosis, and it's also a gene expression cofactor. Magnesium and zinc to boost up your immune system. The turmeric to bring down inflammation. The ashwagandha to bring down inflammation. Turmeric and ashwagandha, when they're coupled together, are a very important combo to help with the immune system. The anti-Fauci advanced box, you get everything in the anti-Fauci beginner, the anti-Fauci box, but you also get the what do you get? C60. You get your choice of C60 on top of it. And the deluxe box, you get also omega-3, digestive enzyme complex, and lignans. Omega-3 helps to prevent cells from sticking, and omega-3 also helps with the lipid profile. Digestive enzyme complex helps to break up proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. It also has bromelain in it that helps to break up clots, and the enzymes in the digestive enzyme complex will help to break up glycoproteins. Lignans are also very important to take to boost up the immune system and bring down inflammation. It's also an antioxidant. The longevity beginner's box. With the longevity beginner's box, you get the NAC, the NAD plus, the nattokinase, oh, this one's sold out. So let me just skip that one. All right. Longevity boost box. You get Boomer Boost, Gladiator, or Heirloom Barley, your choice. All right. So it behooves you to actually purchase the longevity boost box if you want to couple the Boomer Boost with the barley. Very important box to get. This longevity boost box is very important to get. The cardiovascular health box, really important. Omega-3, help with the lipid profile and prevent red blood cells from sticking. Nattokinase helps because it helps with the lipid profile and is fibrinolytic. The vitamin K2, D3 that helps to prevent calcium depositing and helps to pull some of that calcium depositing out of the plaque formation. The turmeric and ashwagandha will bring down vascular inflammation, and the C60 soaks up free radicals to prevent oxidized LDL. Very important box to take to help with your cardiovascular health. The brain box, you get NAD plus to help to protect your neurons. The ubiquinol also helps to protect your neurons. NAD plus also, as I said, repairs DNA damage, and the C60 soaks up free radicals, helps to boost up that ATP, and improves the mitochondrial health. Very important for your neurons. The longevity brain plus box, you get everything in the brain box, but you also get the clarity factor. Clarity factor helps to get rid of that brain fog and help you support your memory. The immune box, the longevity immune system box. Lignans brings down inflammation, soaks up free radicals, boosts up that immune system. The turmeric brings down inflammation, soaks up free radicals, helps with the immune system. And the olive leaf extract helps with bringing down systemic inflammation. And the bone box, the longevity bone box, the collagen, the D3, and the K2. So these are great ways to start on your journey at different price points so you can get healthy. I've tried everything in my power to be able to provide very high quality products at a reasonable price to be able for you to start your anti-aging longevity pursuit. You can also learn about pulmonology and immunology for only $50. You get lots of PDFs, lots of videos. Once you purchase a module, what will happen is that you will get a unique password. You can log in classes, log in with that password. You get emailed, and you can watch these videos, download the PDFs, and you learn about the subject matter. You can log in as many times as you want. All right, with that said, let's start the S&P 500 analysis. All right, let me share my screen here. Okay. All right, so I am doing this analysis on April 8th, 2025. All right, it's the New York session has already opened up. And this is a screenshot before I started doing my recording. All right, so the market already opened up. So what are we seeing here? What we're seeing here, this price right here of 521 is the price of the SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500. And that was when I did my screenshot. Okay. So, and that was, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago, maybe 25 minutes ago. So that's where the market was when I did the screenshot. Okay. You have two different Fib sequences, Fibonacci sequences. You have the larger one, which starts from the crash from 2020 all the way to the high point of SPY. And another one, smaller Fib sequence, where it starts from the beginning of this new rally, all right, that started in 2022 in October. Okay. Now, let's talk about the resistance points. So you got these different, not resistance points, but support levels. You have these different retracements, percentage of retracement from the high. And when you have an overlap between two Fib sequences, that's a strong support level. But if it breaks, that's very ominous. Okay. So we had a sell-off. Most of the sell-off is because of the tariffs news, right? Okay. So we had a support level at the 551 mark based on the 23% retracement. So about the 550 mark. That was an important support level. And you can see here that the market was trying to, it bounced off and then tested it, bounced up again, and then sold off. All right. So this was a support level. So that 550 was important. Then the next support level was around the 515 range. Okay. And because of the gap down from Monday, that was very worrisome. It broke through very fast that overlap between the 38% retracement and the 23% retracement from the larger fib sequence. This line here is the 23% retracement from the larger fib sequence. This line here is the 38. So when they are close together or when they perfectly overlap, that's very strong support level. But because of this news, it blew through that very quickly. Now, you have to remember in the Asian session before that happened, what we had was a major sell-off in Asia, all right, because of this whole tariff news. Okay, so it blows through that support level of 521. And then the next support level of five, not 520, not 521, a support level of 515. All right. So that 515 gets blown through, and psychologically, there was a barrier at 500. Now remember, we're talking about SPY, the ETF for the ETF for the S&P 500. Okay. You can see that there's no fib sequence retracement line on the 500. That was only a psychological barrier. It blew through that very quickly. All right. And like I said, and I've been doing this since 2020, I've been telling you these details since 2023 or since 2022, actually, near the end of 2022, this detail here. All right. So, but I've been saying for months now that this 50% and 61% retracement are very important. All right. So I've been saying for months that 481 on SPY, which is 4,810 for the S&P 500 index, was a major support level. Why? Because it's the 50% retracement of the small fib sequence. So what is the small fib sequence? The start of the rally going all the way back to late 2022. So you can see that algorithmic traders stopped it right in its tracks, and it came back up near the end of this session and traded above the 500. Now 500 is not a support level. There's no fib sequence. That's all psychological. But 481 is a major support level. And today's trading, since the screenshot, it was trading at 521. All right, so that's positive news. Now let me just take a look at where we're at as I'm recording this. Right now, the S&P 500 is still trading at 5,251. So it's still trading at around this level here. All right. So it's trading just above that support, that typical support level that you would have thought would have held on Monday, but it didn't. All right. So that's interesting that it mean reverted just above that support level of 515. I get 515. Basically, it's 515, 518. That's in between these two retracements. So it's about 515. All right. So it's trading above that right now. But the important point here is that the algorithmic traders and the institutional investors bought in when it hit the 50% retracement. And it's very clear that you can see it right here. Boom. It's right there. So this level has been tested and confirmed that it is a major support level. Now, I was saying yesterday before the end of the close, I think I stopped my show at 3 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock. But I was saying that it's possible that if the market sells off below and closes below the 481 for SPY, then what will happen is that there's going to be a major sell-off. All right. But it didn't happen. It did the opposite. It held, that support level held. So this has been confirmed that this is a major support level. Now, let's take a look at the microdynamics of this point right here. Back when the 551 was tested, it came up and then was retested, came up and then sold down. It's possible that we may see that similar dynamic here. All right. The VIX index was very high in the 50s yesterday. So it might not retest the 481 because of the heteroscedastic aspect of the high VIX. But just be aware that you might have a retest, just like there was a retest of the 551, didn't hold, and then it broke, right? And there was you can see the gap, down gap, and then another down gap. When you see a down gap, that's usually ominous, all right? But this 50 has been confirmed to be a major support level, this 50% retracement, all right? 500 is not a support level, and that's clear, right? It's only psychological. But structurally, the 481 is a support level. It could be retested, depending on what's going on in the news. Or what we may actually see is this was actually the bottom. We're not sure yet. Now, if I threw probabilities out, I would say that there is that the bottom that we just saw the bottom for 481, I would only give about 40% chance, about 60% chance that we're probably going to go lower, possibly. But do not fear. Keep on buying into the market. Do not fear on this. Okay, so all right, so it's trading above that support level that broke, which is about the 515 mark. Okay, but that's where it's trading above right now. But we have a confirmed support level of 481 on SPY. Now, let's say that this microdynamic happens down here, and about a week or two later, we retest the 481. If that does happen and the news, looks like it's not going well with tariffs, then you're talking about another support level at about the 450 mark, anywhere from 461 to 450. So you have this larger fib sequence of 38% retracement that's going all the way back to 2020, and a 62% retracement for the small fib sequence. So they overlap closely. So around the 450 mark is a strong support level. Okay. So if 481 breaks, 475 is not a support level. It's 450. It's 450. If you're looking at the index number, it's 4,500. That's the support level. And that would be roughly the 38% retracement from 2020 crash. Okay. So there is if 481 breaks, there's a high probability that it will be stopped at the 450 mark. All right. Now, if you take the 50%, now remember, why am I saying 50? Remember, 50% was a major stop for the small fib sequence for that sell-off yesterday. Now, the 50% for the 2020 crash would be 415. Okay. At 415. So 425 is not a support level. Just like 475 is not a support level. 450 is a major support level. And another major support level, you're talking at about 410. 425 is not a support level. So if we retest 481 and it doesn't hold, it's going to 450. That will retest and consolidate a little bit. And if it doesn't hold, then it's going to drop down to the four around 410. 400 it would be psychological, just like the 425 would be psychological barrier. But the real barrier is around 410. All right. So the resistance level. All right. So let's recap. Where are the support levels? You have a support level that broke yesterday that was at 515. So that is not a strong support level anymore. 500 never was a support level. It was only psychological. A major tested support level is 481. But if the tariff news is negative or something else happens in the world, like some sort of contagion or some sort of recession news or whatever, then you're talking about breaking the 481. If that happens, it's going to go down to 450 and test and most likely hold at the 450. All right. And bounce up off of that 450 and then retest. If it holds, then it'll start to march up. So we have probably a 40% chance that we just saw the bottom of this sell-off at 481. We have probably another 40% chance where the bottom will be at 450, and we'll have about a 20% chance of the bottoming being at about 410. So those are my probabilities. 40% chance we just saw yesterday the bottom of this crazy stuff that's going on. Another 40% chance that we'll see a bottom at 450 and a 20% chance a bottom at about 410. Do not try to time the market. If you have cash, slowly start buying into the index. Don't be a hero and throw everything in. And don't be a hero, try to be a hero and try to pick the stocks. There's going to be a lot of idiosyncratic risks with different stocks, and it's best that you are in an index. Now, if you're already in individual stocks, then just hold it and just buy into the individual stocks. But if you are thinking about creating a new position in an individual stock, don't do it. But you should be buying into the broader index. You'll be safer in this regard. Okay, so 515 broke, 481 held like I said it would. If it is retested and breaks, it's going to be supported by the 450 mark. And if that breaks, which there's a chance depending on the news, then you have it stopping at about 410. And I think those are the bottom points, either 481, 450, or 410. 40% chance that we just saw the bottom, another 40% chance that the bottom is at 450, and 20% chance that we'd see the bottom at 410. All right. Don't panic. Just keep on buying in. And there will be a rally going forward. Now, why do I say that? The rally going forward will be accelerated after we establish a bottom, which we might have seen. We may have seen the bottom at 481. But like I said, it's only 40% chance there. The tax cuts bill will get passed near the end of the year, third or fourth quarter of the year. That's going to be, as that's going in the news, they're going to have institutional investors purchasing more of the index. So there's going to be inflows into the S&P 500. That's one reason. Another reason is the Federal Reserve may signal that they do a cut. And both of those coupled together will be very positive for institutional investors to move flows into the S&P 500. All right, and in other stocks too. But I'm just looking at this at the more macro level. All right. Now let's talk about. We talked about support levels. What about resistance levels? All right. Now, as this is starting to move up and we start to find out where the bottom is, we're going to need to start creating a new fib sequence. So we're going to actually have 3 fib sequences, but you can't create that yet until you start seeing the structure develop. We may have seen it right here, but we need this tested to confirm it. Just like if you look at the microstructure here, we had kind of a bottoming out in 2022 here. It came up and then failed again. You can see it was testing, failed, and then came up and started marching. So we may have something similar where it tests the 481, test, fails, right? And then bottoms out at the 450 or the 410, and then starts marching back up. But like I said, there is a time frame here that's very positive for equities, and that is the Federal Reserve probably will lower rates at the end of the year, at least once, and tax cuts are going to get passed in Congress. So those are both very positive for inflows into the S&P 500. Now, once we have that structure, what would be the potential near-term points? And we'll get more details when we create that third fib sequence. But we're looking at probably a barrier of I wouldn't be surprised a barrier at 575. Definitely the 600 and the 613, which is the high point. So I would say without having a fib sequence to look at, assuming that the 481 is the bottom out, then I would say the 575 at this moment is a barrier to be concerned with, to be able, because look at what happened here. It bounced on the 575 and came down. So there's going to be some resistance there at the 575. The 550, I don't think there really is a resistance. I think this is all psychological, right? Because we already broke it. So I'm starting to think that maybe without building up another fib sequence, I'm starting to think that maybe a barrier as the market starts to heal, that 575 is going to be an important barrier. And I also think that the high point, the 613, is a major barrier. So think of it in terms of 575 and 613 as barriers as the market starts to heal. But we're not in a healing market right now. I think that there's probably another leg down on this. We need to consolidate and build up this support for the 481. But again, like I said, we're only at a 40% chance that we saw the bottom yesterday. We'll see. There's another 40% chance that the 450 is the bottom and another 20% chance that the 410 is the bottom. All right. So, just, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But as the market is healing, I'm looking at least at this point in time, it seems as though the 575, the 600, and the 613 will be resistance points as the market starts to move upward. So hopefully you're seeing my thought process here. Here's the volume. You can see huge volume flows, right, during that sell-off. Another is huge volume flow during that, the beginning of the 2022 year. That was comparable. So that's interesting, just by looking at the volume flow, this could be this sell-off. Now, remember, this bear market lasted for about about 10 months, 9, 10 months, right? Now you get the sell-off in April, right? Well, really March, right? So you have this, so you have April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 7 months. All right. November, that's 8 months. Now, it's possible that we may actually have something like this structure where it's kind of moving downward towards this 410. If we do have something like this, that it's like a bear market for 8 months, all right, you would have we'll most likely move more towards that. There's a higher probability of that being that 410 bottoming over time, because this is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, bottom out that 410, and then start moving up. And that may take place over a 7 or 8 month period. But if you look at the structure of this was like sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off, up, sell off, sell off, up, right? And if I remember right, I believe this was also because of the SVB bank, the Silicon Valley Bank failure. So we don't have that. This is something different. It's tariffs. And this sold off really hard. So I suspect that we're actually going to see more of a V recovery on this. I would, if I was throwing odds on a V recovery from this sell-off, I would say it's 60% chance of a V recovery than something like this. Something like this, I would say only 40% chance to develop structurally. I think it's going to be more of a V recovery. I think that's 60% chance. So that's my take on it. All right. So please help support my work by making sure that you share the links and subscribe to all my channels. I have 4 channels on YouTube: Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble. Make sure you subscribe to all those channels. Please ask your social media to follow me. I'm giving you this information for free. So please help support my work. I do need your support. And if you can, please get the great supplements that I have on my store. You stack them the way I tell you to stack them. You're going to improve all these different systems in your body. This is something that I do on a regular basis as a health protocol. It's a holistic approach. It's not just about supplementation. It's about proper diet, proper exercise, all 4 modalities of exercise. That means resistance training, cardio, stretching, balancing exercises, making sure you filter your water, make sure that you eat foods that are not processed, detoxify your body, get proper sleep, do mindfulness so you can go into parasympathetic mode and just have a more holistic approach to life. And when you do that, then with the proper supplementation, the proper stacking, your life is going to improve and your health will improve. And you're going to notice that you'll have more energy, more vitality, and over time, you're going to see that you're aging less and your immune system is better. But it's a holistic approach. If someone says just do exercise or just take this supplement, they're not telling you the truth. It's a holistic approach. Preventative methods will help to improve your health, but it's a holistic approach, and you have to be vigilant. And continuing that process day after day is very important. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Click the link in the description of this video. Get the supplements that I have. Help support my work. Help support your health. It's a win-win situation. Don't worry about this market. It's going to heal. Buy into it. Don't be fearful. You will benefit in the long run. Just stay the course. Please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.